Hello, I am Jacob. I am Jacob. Yeah, I'm Jacob. Yeah, yeah, yep, yeah, yep. Uh, No, I mean, oh, wow, wow, wow. Oh, wait, is Logan muted? Logan.
It's okay. I'm just a dumbass. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I unmuted myself. I'm just a dumbass. It's okay.
Okay, well, it's fine.
We can all
It's
hear me
completely
now,
okay.
right? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm just a
Okay.
dumbass. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
Okay.
Since they already figured it out, now I get to change what the text says.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, yes. Yes, this is the best part.
Does
This.
it work that way? Hold up. I gotta.
Uh, I think. Wait. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. I had to pull up the actual text thing.
Yeah.
There we go. Here we go. So, as many of you noticed, Jacob's not here. We have Jacob 2 Electric Boogaloo. So, Jacob is not going to be doing review anymore. Instead, I get Leo to join me. Which, honestly, is an upgrade for everybody. So,
It saves you guys a lot of time and a lot of nonsense from Jacob.
that's a good point. Jacob will still be popping around every once in a while, because we'll get him to do his genetic algorithm lecture. And a couple other things. But week to week now, Leo will be joining. So, what are we doing this week? That's a really good question. Thank you, Logan, for asking such a good question.
Logan, great question.
Let's go
I
figure
think-
out what we're doing. I think we're doing classes and objects and heap.
Well, okay, we did classes and objects like 2 weeks ago.
I
A
know.
week ago.
I know, but we did class and objects Monday and we did heap today. So
Right. Okay.
let's
Alright, we
do a
can just-
review for everybody on classes and objects.
Right.
But let's spend the majority of the time on heap, stack versus heap. Let's finish up this
Mhm.
discussion on stack versus heap. So, okay. Okay,
Let's pull
let's
up.
begin with this. Hey y'all, correct me if I'm wrong. Heaper for user-defined values such as we'll talk about it. Okay.
Yeah, we're
Do
gonna
I
talk
have
about that right
slides for this?
You could
always
check if you
a
have
good-
slides.
I'm gonna check
If
if I have
not-
slides. Generally, I think at the beginning of the semester we have slides, and they're usually better than other things, but we'll find out.
I would hope so, but if not, we can just do
Yeah, I gotta.
Fawn and IntelliJ.
I super gotta see if I can find that we have them.
Someone save me. I need to know. Don't worry, we will help you out. We will save you. We
Probably.
Are. I hope we will save
Oh,
you.
I have a stack and heap lecture and inheritance. Not inheritance. We
Oh.
can't do inheritance yet.
Do not do inheritance.
Do not do
Yeah.
inheritance. Yeah. I also have a
Inheritance.
classes and object one, maybe.
Let's see what you got.
I don't know. This is gonna be like a couple of different things in one.
That is a-okay. Whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
we have
Let's
not went
let's
through,
start
we'll
with
just
let's start with classes and constructors, and then we'll do it this way.
Perfect. Works with me.
Okay. Let's move you over there. Let's do this. Let's do that. And then we'll do that. Aha! I love that everything's working today. This is very convenient.
Ah, this is
Not
this
like
is
an hour
so
ago
good.
when nothing worked.
An hour ago, we couldn't even get my video on.
It's fine. Everything's fine. Alright. We're going to talk about class constructors. Do a little quick thing on unit testing because I've had a lot of people come to my office hours having issues with unit testing.
Right. Okay.
And then we'll go into stack and heap. We'll spend like
Got it.
10-15 minutes max on this for everybody's
Mhm.
knowledge. So classes, if you've been here for a while, by the way, we've actually gone through this presentation, but it's good to redo this now that we are actually at this point. So classes are the way that we create new data types, and those data types we will instantiate as objects. So new objects from different classes are instantiated by using the new keyword. So I have here some classes with some objects that I'm creating from the class team. So we've got the New York Mets, which is the team, and that team has a constructor. I think I can. Why can't I write on Google Slides or whatever?
You
This
should be
team,
able
I really think you should be able to. This team has a constructor, and that constructor is offense and defense, which are basically parameters, but for classes. So the New York Mets has an offense of 10 and a defense of 3, which is just about true as when I wrote this 3 years ago. And and apparently some of it's right and some of it's very wrong. Like the Bills having 0 offensive defense. Regardless of any of that, we've got classes and constructors, and you create an object by instantiating a new variable of the class. So this is our team class. So it's got 2 different constructors. It's got val offense and val defense. This are our 2 constructors here. It's got a state variable inside of it, which is score, and it's got some class methods like home run, which takes in a value of runs scored and returns whatever the current score is plus 1 run scored, however many runs that were scored. So we can use this in conjunction. Is this the...
Oh, can you wait? Is that it? Oh, it just tells you it's constructors.
Oh, yeah.
It's constructors, guys.
Those are constructors. Yep. Classes have constructors. Oh! It goes through everything. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is our class variable, and then this is going to talk about this being like the class function here. So, for example, you would call this by one of our already instantiated things. When I instantiated the New York Mets team back in the first slide, we can call .homerun on them, which is a method of that class, and we put in an integer. So this would add 4 home runs to the New York Mets score. Okay, apparently I labeled this. So this is a class called person, which does a couple of things. So it first of all takes 2. Actually, let's do it this way. I'm remembering these slides as we go. Can you guys throw in Twitch chat what you think the constructors for this are, what you think the class variable is, and what the class function is?
Let's get some answers.
At least 2.
At least 2. Maybe 3.
Maybe 3.
Maybe 3.
We might be pushing it on 3, to be honest.
I hope not. I would hope not.
I hope not.
I believe in our users.
We have some... Oh my goodness, that's like 5 answers.
There we go.
Sugar Bombs, what are you confused about? Alright, so we got a bunch of constructor answers. So first name and last name are the 2 constructors, yep. What about class variable?
Yes, what is the class variable here?
What was the question? What's the class variable right now? And then we're going to talk about what the class function is. So person is the class, that is true. Class variables is the full name, yes.
Yep.
Constructor as in plural, yes. There are 2 constructors. Full name, yeah. Full name is our class variable. It takes both of the constructors, first name and last name, and adds a space between them. And then we have a class function or class method here, which is...
I would hope.
No, 16-bit. Everything in the parentheses is not a constructor. They are all constructors, but each is individually a constructor. So first name is a constructor, and so is last name. So this has 2 constructors. So print full name is our class method. Inherent it's the class method. Full name itself is the class variable. So the rest of this just points that stuff out. I wrote state variable in here, but it's that. It's a class variable. So this is kind of what makes up our classes. And classes are going to be really important when we go to talk about the heap and stack versus heap and that kind of stuff. So we like to do this when we're in person, but obviously we're not in person. Woo! So I'm going to leave this up for you guys to screenshot, but this is a good example of making your own class on something that either Jesse or Nazarene would give you. And just good things to know in general, that you would get something like this that would say create a class called baseball team that you need to have these things in it. So you have a constructor that is a list of strings with player names, a constructor with the name of the team and a location of the team. You have a variable that holds wins and losses and different indices. You have a string holding the location, the space, and the name of the team, so like a full name kind of thing. Methods to add wins and losses, and methods to print the location of the team name string.
Also, guys, if you bring this up, if you bring this slide up to office hours, feel free to mention it, and if you're having trouble, we can explain what to do on each step. Okay. It's not a problem at all.
Yep. Do you think these type of questions would be on the quiz next week? I assume you're from Nazarene's class if you're saying that, and I can tell you I have 0 clue.
If you're referring to the quiz, you are probably referring to the lab activity. So we're still figuring out the details for the lab activity, so just wait for a post on that on Piazza.
Yep. So if you do this on your own, don't cheat, but here's the answer, or something that looks really close to the answer. Again, there's every time you code, there can be minor differences within people's stuff, but this is kind of what we're looking for. So I'll leave this up for a minute for anybody to screenshot, and then we'll move on to the next one. Unit testing. We're going to go over unit testing super quickly because I have people still coming to my office hours kind of confused about unit testing. So as we've said on a trillion different occasions, unit testing is important. It lets you find out if your code's correct before you send it to Autolab. There will be classes in your UB computer science career that you only get a certain amount of submissions. Leo's in one of them right now. 250 you only get like 5 submissions.
Guys, I can tell you right now, if you don't use unit testing, you are going to be stuck on the question for the rest of your life.
Yep.
You will only get 5 submissions on Autolab in 250. And yep. 250 is a much more difficult course than what you're taking right now. I can vouch for you on that.
Yep. So it's going to save you some headaches. It's going to save all-nighters, that kind of stuff to make sure your code's working. You cannot submit a unit test suite that just has one test. And when we talk about a test, when one test is an assert statement. So you need to have multiple assert statements. Like you should have like at the minimum 5 assert statements in every single test suite you write. I'd say 5 is a good minimum.
Or a for loop.
Yep, that works too. But a for loop, it makes multiple assert statements. You need to be
multiple, but it does it multiple times.
It's multiple. You need to test at least 5 different things using X amount of assert statements, but you need to test a lot of things in there. You don't just test one thing and you don't just put one input in and say, "Hey, look, it works," and that's it. You need to put multiple things in there. So always. This is a test suite right here, and this is a decent test suite. It's got 6 assert statements. That's like more than 5. And this is testing.
More than what my hand has.
Yeah, it's like 6. So this one checks to see in a score class if a team is the winner, and it then also checks to make sure that the team is not a winner. One assert statement, which is a for loop, is good. As long as you have like 5 or 6 inputs for that for loop that it's going through, then you should be fine. Everything I just said is with an asterisk because you have to be testing the correct things. So here we score a goal, and then we check to make sure that teams still aren't the winners and that kind of stuff, and we score a goal again. So this is what a decent unit test suite should look like. You should have a bunch of different statements and a bunch of different conditions in here. You want to make sure that you have a class that extends fun suite, which is our testing suite. You want to make sure that you have a test that has a actually decent descriptive description, because when you come back to your code after not looking at it for a week, you want to know what the test suite's doing. And you want to have multiple assert statements. As I said previously, more than 5. Testing different components of your stuff. So again, this is what the whole thing kind of looks like. And that's all that we have for testing. All right, you guys y'all are probably still confused on stack and heap. So let's go talk about this.
We can definitely go talk about stack and heap.
We should definitely talk about stack and heap.
100% talk about stack and heap.
All right, so obviously it's not September 17th, and obviously Jacob's not here, so you can see how old this is. Stack and heap is confusing. We already talked about this last week. I'm not gonna super go on this. This is something that I want to talk about, though. The stack is stored in adjacent pieces of memory. So you'll have your first stack start at, let's say, 10, right? Your next piece of the stack will be at 11, and these are memory locations. Next will be at 12, 13, 14, etc., etc. Your heap can go literally anywhere. So you can have a piece of heap at like 732 and then another one at 3. It doesn't matter where they go as long as they're linking back to somewhere in the stack, which is why we have these pictures. So a stack is very nicely organized, and you can't get to the thing under it without taking the thing on top of it off. A heap is just you chuck everything into somewhere. You can think of it like a stack of plates or a deck of cards. Heap is like when you have 52 card pickup and the cards are everywhere and it doesn't really matter. And stack is more like when you've got them in a pile and you're ready to deal. So let's talk about what goes on what. Can I don't know the best way to do this.
You want to present?
No. I don't know how I want to do this.
What do you want to do?
Let's do this. Hold on. We're going to take a screenshot. We're going to open it. We're going to open it here. All right. That's not what I want to do.
No, just draw a line. It's fine.
Yeah, just okay.
That's just one line. Just one line.
So copy this. me open Photoshop, and then I can type in there. Junk guys, I'm literally about to get to that. We're going to talk about what goes where. So that's why I'm opening Photoshop.
Exactly where things go.
Yeah, I want to type on this, so we're gonna show you exactly where stuff goes where.
We would rather show you than tell you.
Yeah, it's a little bit more convenient. Just save this to my desktop.
No space. Imagine you had no space.
My computer right now has so much space on it. I deleted so much stuff the other day. All right, so let's talk about stack. Okay, apparently I was doing something in a ridiculously large font the other day. All right, so let's talk about the stack and what goes with the stack. You can all see this, I assume. I hope so. Let's zoom in a little bit. So our stack is our nicely ordered thing that's got things on top of each other, and that makes sense. How much data do you know on our computers for this class? Not a huge amount.
Should not be that much.
Yeah. Why is this doing this? Auto. Please don't put 90 pixels into it. So on our stack is going to be our primitive values. And if you don't know what a primitive value is, that's okay. So our primitive values are things that are built into the language, that are really specifically built in. So like our ints, right? Our doubles, our chars, which are individual characters of a string. Leo, what else goes on a stack?
I'm pretty sure floats go on the stack, but we don't really talk about those in this course. Floats go on the stack. Longs pretty sure go on the stack.
I'm pretty sure they do too.
Anything that's pretty much
anything that's a very definitive type. Yep, it's something that's definitive. And you'll notice that we probably left off something really important that you don't see. We're going to talk about methods in a minute. We're talking about values that go on the stack right now. So
yeah, more importantly, values.
So let's copy this now. And let's talk about what goes on the heap.
Just change it to heap. Yep, there we go.
I got it. I know how to Photoshop, surprisingly.
Okay.
So let's talk about what goes on the heap. What do you guys think goes on the heap? Because I know this is the newer topic of the two.
You guys can just drop what you think.
String.
Goes on the heap.
Yes, that's the big one.
And string is a big thing. List is also a big one.
Yes. I don't remember what font size I used, so we'll do that. List. Map. Array. That's the other big one that I wanted to touch upon. Objects. So let's talk about these. Let's not add anymore. Let's talk about these for a minute. So a string goes on the heap because what is a string? Yeah, a string is just a list of chars. So for this class, don't worry about that. I know I just confused the hell out of everyone. But for this class, we're just going to say that a string is a primitive data type. Oh my god, yeah.
Technical difficulties. Logan.
Oh, yeah, no, we're fine.
There we go.
Strings are actually going to be on the stack for this. Just for when you write your diagrams, just know that strings are lists of chars, but they will go onto the stack for this class. But the rest of these things definitely are 100% going onto the stack. And it's very important that they go onto the stack. So lists are super important. Our lists do a couple of really cool things. Since our lists are multiple values, they're going to go onto the heap. So we'll have a location in the heap, right? And in here, it's like a mini stack itself. So we'll say that this is like list. I can't write with this thick of a brush.
Bring it down, bring it down. You're okay. List.
That this is like list A, right? And in here, it's got int B and int C. And this is how we act. This is how lists work, is that we have a list and it's somewhere in the heap, and we're gonna each piece after that is a different indice in that list. Maps will work the same way, that you'll have a map, and inside your map will be a string, and then it has a value, and that value is another piece of the heap somewhere else. You can append lists, correct? Yes, you can append to lists.
Yes.
You use colon. Actually, yes,
Well,
you can append to lists. We're going to change that later in the semester, but for right now, you can append to lists.
yes. But don't worry about that right now.
Don't worry about it at all.
Just understand right now, as of this moment, you can
append to lists. Right? So this is the same way that lists will work, maps will work, and this is the important one here. Our objects. Our objects that we make, those classes that we make, when we instantiate it, it's going to create its own value on the heap, somewhere onto the heap. But you can't take an axe to anything inside of it, right? Because it's immutable. You can take values out. Again, we're going to talk about it later in the semester. I don't really want to go into this right now. But it's important to know that objects will go onto the heap. So I don't want to go into more complicated list stuff until later.
Yes.
So let's talk about objects specifically, and let's talk about how the stack works. So I'm going to open up a Excel document because this is the easiest way to do this.
Yeah. Or a Google Sheets.
Yeah,
Excel works too.
So, by the way, everybody, if you're doing stack and heap, one of the easiest ways I've found out how to do it is open an Excel workbook, because you're going to use a table. So
Excel or Google Sheets, if you don't have Excel.
Yeah, either way.
You should.
You get free through the school.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is our stack right here. Can I zoom in? I can. So this is our stack right here. Let's say I've got a Why does it do that every time? My keyboard just sometimes decides to press the FN key. It's very annoying. So okay. We have a variable which is named A. It is an int. Actually, we have an integer which is A, and its value is 7. And then let's say I want to make a new object, right? So let's go back to that team object I had earlier. So the one from here. This one. This team
class
object
team.
Here. This class team. So I want to make a new object like I did for the Mets, the Raptors, the Chargers, and the Bills here. So we're going to make this in here. Can you put semicolons in Scala? I think so. I don't think it'll yell at you.
You can.
So let's say I have int A, which is going to be our offense, and I've got int B, which is going to be our defense. So let's say our defense is like a 4, right? And here I'm going to say we have a new object. We have a new team, right? Which name is, I don't know, what's a team? The Sabres.
Sabres, yeah, go ahead. Did you just spell Sabres wrong?
I spelled it like the sword, not the... I don't know. I'm not from Buffalo, man. Deal with it. We have the Sabres, right? Which have a value...
Logan can't spell.
This is a well-known thing. Of at 752, 764, whatever I wrote, okay?
764. So
this is the heap starting at 764 right here. 764. So here now we're gonna have different things that are part of our object. So we have a team. It's got a name. Is Sabres, which we really don't need to store here. Actually, we're not gonna store here. What we are gonna store here is we're gonna store an int which is named offense, which has a value of, what did I say, 7.
7.
Yep.
There we go.
And we have a defense which has a value of 4. I think that's high spell defense.
Yes.
I think it is too. And then when we go back to here, when we create this team, we're also going to create this score variable. So we've got an int named, I'm just going to paste. Because I'm lazy. Which is instantiated to 0. So this is our heap. This is where our object is stored. It's stored on the heap at this random place. And let's say I wanted to do Sabres. I'm going to do this with some... Why does Excel not like me?
We are about to butcher this really badly. The Sabres hitting home runs.
Yeah.
We're about to butcher this really bad, but it's okay. It just
So let's say the Skaber scored 3 goals, right? So now our value in the heap would update to be 3. So that's kind of how.
questions.
Yeah.
Anybody
Let's
got
ask
any
about
questions about
questions.
that? Is everybody still good?
Is everybody just slightly in shock?
Like we just gave him a score. Oh my gosh.
Is 764 just a random location? Yes.
Yes.
It in reality in your computer, if you go into like when you get into 341 and stuff, you'll find out it's not totally random, but it's a place that's not at your current stack location. So we'll say that this is stack at 0, right? So this would be 1, this would be 2, 3, right? This is just the heap is somewhere else that's not on the stack. Not at that
In
same
341 we
stack
get in 341 we probably get into more detail.
Yes, you do.
But definitely just random for now. Understand that the heap is always a random number or something random in this.
Yep. And when you write your own heaps, unless it's specified that you need to have it at a certain place, you can just put a random number there. Just yes. You're trying to show that it's not in the same place on the stack.
Yes. As long as you say that it's not in the stack, you will be okay.
Fine. Yep. Also, this is the only session, review session ever that you'll see Google Slides, Photoshop, and Excel all being used.
Yeah, you're a madman. You're a madman. I don't know, man. I was very.
It's what I'm comfortable with,
man. I don't know, man. It's a little bit. It takes a toll. It takes its own toll. 2 minutes, especially Photoshop.
Nah, Photoshop's fine. So, anybody have any questions on this before we continue?
And
by continue, I mean just ask questions to us.
Yeah, you could. We just continue until you guys want us to stop, and we'll answer your questions. I like silence. Silence is good.
Silence is always good.
Yeah. I'm guessing everybody's good.
I love y'all so useful. Huh. I'm happy we're useful.
I mean, I wish I was pretty useful, but I mean...
It's fine, you're here. You're at least useful by association.
Yeah, that's true. I'm kind of just agreeing with Logan every time he says that.
I mean, that's what I used to do with Jacob. So, nobody has questions. I swear we don't.
Anybody else have questions? Actually, feel free to ask anything you guys want about stack and heap.
Yep.
Anything.
And then if still nobody has questions about stack and heap, I'll start taking questions on like the rest of the class.
Do not worry about linked list right now.
Yep. Don't bother.
That is way later in the course.
Why were the first 2 ints labeled as A and B? That's just what I named them. It's like hold on. Let me pull this up so I can show y'all. No, I don't want to download that. I don't want this either. Now I'm gonna do this in a very language. Actually, I'll do it in Scala. That would be like doing int a. That's not how you write Scala. Var a colon int equals 0.
And then var b.
Yeah.
I'll just copy and paste.
Yeah, I'm lazy.
Yeah, we all are. It's okay.
And then, or actually, let's put numbers here. And then here going var mets is a team equals new team A, comma B. So it's just 2 variables that I put, so that way we put them in our constructor.
Because the constructor can only take ints, because that's what we specified the class to do.
Correct. Now we could have just done 7 and 4 in here, but I wanted to show more of like what goes on the stack and how it goes on the stack versus the heap. Also, when did my Notepad++ get into like not
You were just writing C. I was just about to say. You were like int int a is equal
Yeah,
to.
I was writing Python earlier today. Like I'm all over the place right now. I don't
It's
remember
okay.
where the thing is. Whatever. So if you had new team 7-4, there wouldn't be anything on the stack regarding the 7-4. No, because you're not storing it anywhere. There's no reason to store it on the stack. It's going to get stored right onto the heap in that new object.
And it would only be on the heap at that point.
Correct.
If you wanted to access it in the stack at all, there's no shot you can do that without referring to the heap location.
Oh, here it is. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, that looks way better.
Thank you. Yeah, I totally forgot. And then wait, I think I have a user-defined language. No, I used to have user-defined language of Scala on here, so it actually highlight things
It's
correctly.
fine.
I'm lazy.
You'll do it later.
IntelliJ, that's a scary thing to open during your session.
Now that's
a scary thing.
That one might take a little while.
Yeah, it's weird. It normally takes about 4 tries to do it.
4 tries?
Yeah.
I'd be lucky if I can even get 5 or 6. I used to open up IntelliJ when I used to play Warzone. That's funny.
Oh god, why would you do that?
That was awful. So when you initialize a new instance of class, meets that line of code is stored in stack. However, everything associated with the new instance is stored in the heap. Yes. So yes. So that creation of the new instance of a class gets put on the heap. But when you have variables that are in that class, they get stored on the heap. Sorry. When you create a new instance of that class, it gets stored on the stack. But it also refers to a location in the heap. So it doesn't actually get put on the stack. Its location gets put on the stack. Mets. Okay, yeah. I thought I was like meats.
It's like Arby's. Confused. We have the Mets.
We have the Mets. You know, I've only ever eaten at Arby's once.
Same.
And it was a gyro sandwich.
I need help on Nazrin's lecture 5 question. I'm not sure if you guys are able to go over an overview when you're done with feeling sex. No, we are a solely conceptually based thing.
Review session.
Yeah, so we're not gonna go over that. Sorry.
Not the specific lecture question, but we could go over something related to it. Whether it be like a stack question or something.
Why is it highlighting this? That's so weird.
Logan's highlight.
No,
is not working.
No. I'm trying to get the Scala thing to go, and now it's just
highlight no worky.
Highlight no worky. Highlight always no worky.
Highlight always no worky. Well, okay. If you guys have any questions about stack and heap, or even just unit testing, we can also help you there.
Yep.
Is this your user-defined Scala?
Yes.
Wow. Impressive.
I didn't write this. I downloaded it.
I would bet you didn't, to be quite honest.
Yeah,
you
no,
don't have that type of time.
Yeah, really. The issue is the background color here. It's not just auto background. It's white.
Oh, well, it's fine.
Light mode it is. But now it highlights things correctly. It's good. It's fine enough. Yeah. Leo, what's Nazrin's lecture question 5? Do you remember?
I believe it's the team. Actually, the team lecture question. Yeah. The one where it's you have object referee. And you have to like declare the winner. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes. I just don't remember what's involved with that lecture question.
It's actually very similar to what we just did.
So
could you show how to stop going from a for loop with an if loop within it when two things don't match anymore. Um, that's a very specific thing.
Um, don't use a for loop, use a while loop. And have your condition being those two things not matching. Otherwise, you can import breakable and break, but I just recommend using a while loop instead.
Wait, actually, now they're saying that lecture 5 question is
Well, they're saying factorization, which that one I
factorization.
know.
Yeah, that one I know for sure.
So, prime factorization, I assume you all understand what the definition of prime factorization is.
If you don't know what prime factors are and prime factorization is, just drop in the chat. We can explain that as well.
Yeah, I would do some Googling for that.
Yeah.
You just can't code it. Okay. My suggestion would be to go to office hours and ask a TA for help there, just because it's very difficult for us to go here without just straight writing the question and kind of working it out as a group, and that's just, it's not fair to people who aren't here and that kind of stuff. So if you do need help with that lecture question specifically, I would go to office hours.
Yeah, if you're in Nazarene section,
which they are, we don't have prime factorization.
Oh, you guys don't?
Nope.
Yeah, definitely come to office hours. Me and the other TAs can definitely explain it way better than we can here, to be quite honest. Yeah, my office hours are at 10 a.m. tomorrow, and so it's on the piazza, so yeah, I have 10 a.m. office hours. Can you believe that?
I was gonna say so early. I say as I wake up at 8 a.m. for lab.
Do you know that 220 is at 9 a.m. this semester?
I mean, that's great.
It works out for me, to be quite honest.
That's really nice.
Because I'll have 220 and then 250s at like 12:40.
Tuesday, Thursday, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday?
Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Oh, thank God. I hate an hour and a half on 220 lecture.
Can you imagine?
That's what sucks about these courses. It's hard to explain without explicitly showing. So the difference is a TA that's in an office hour can definitely explain it better than us here, because I don't know your specific problem versus somebody else's specific problem versus somebody else's specific problem, and I can't just kind of go on an overview of how to do it in the same kind of way that you can do it in office hours. It's the inherent downside of doing review sessions like this, which is why we keep these very conceptual and not about specific lecture questions, that kind of stuff. We keep it about course material.
Yes. Also in office hours, you have the ability to share your screen and all that type of stuff, and actually talk out your problem. And sometimes your problem just gets solved by talking. Yep. And you don't even need the help sometimes.
How to simulate a conditional. I assume by that question you're in Jesse's class and you're working on the point of sale homework, in which my answer is don't simulate conditionals. That's going against the spirit of the assignment. Leo, that's the new replacement for calculator microwave.
Oh no. Oh no.
So don't use conditionals. Don't try and simulate conditionals. Do the way that it wants you to do it. And if you don't understand the way that it wants you to do it, wait till like next week, I think. Yeah, state pattern.
Yes. If you wait till next, I'm pretty sure you guys are doing state pattern next week. I can even just check. I can just check.
As I say, the 116 website's very available.
I still remember it. I can't believe I still remember it.
It's 116, CSE116.com. It's not difficult to remember. Yeah, Friday next week.
Yeah, Friday next week. Yeah, you guys are definitely going to go more in depth with that next week.
Yep. We'll next week's a fun review. We start getting to fun review sessions next week, because next week we got to get to talk about inheritance and polymorphism.
Yes.
Then week after we'll do states, and we'll never talk about GUIs.
Sadly, we can never talk about GUIs.
No, Jesse's got like 2 whole days on GUIs. We're not gonna do it, but
Fine, we can talk about them. Doesn't hurt.
GUIs are scary, man.
GUIs are very scary. Find state pattern.
Yeah.
I remember state pattern. Oh, wow. That was ages ago. I feel like I've aged 2 years. 2 whole years.
Probably have aged 2 years.
I feel... Nah, it's pretty awful. Pretty awful.
Anybody else have any other questions?
Anything related to course material. Anything. Absolutely anything. We will be happy to answer that. I keep forgetting it's like week 4. And we've already been through unit testing, so I think so. Is it week 4? It feels like week 4.
It's only week 4?
Man, it should be week 5 or 6 already.
I hate that.
This entire time I've been holding chopsticks in my hands.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know why. It's just I've been doing like I've been moving them like up and down like this.
How's learning objective 3? It exists. I don't know what you're looking for.
In terms of projects, it has a project. That's it does have a project or a homework if you want to call
Oh,
it
it
that.
does have a project.
Yes, it does.
You know what learning objective 3's project is?
Yes, I do. And that was. You're gonna have fun.
It's a fun.
You're gonna have fun, guys.
1-5 different.
1-5 different, bro. Is it too late to FF?
I mean, it's after 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, you can FF. You just got to take the class again.
Yeah.
If you want to get credit for it, you can still resign. I would suggest not resigning. I would suggest going office hours and that kind of stuff. But
office hours will help you.
You technically can still resign.
But why would you want to FF at 15 when you have when you got like a Caitlyn fed right now? I don't know, man. God, I'm trying to think of.
We went too far with the analogy.
I'm going too far. I'm going too far. My point is, don't give up yet.
Yeah, exactly.
There we go. Sugar Bombs knows. I will stay in back door. CSE 116 was group project work. I don't think it's ever been group project work.
Actually, it has been group project work. When I took the class, it was group project. Every time after that, it has not been group project.
Right.
Because group projects suck.
Yeah. Especially.
Can we explain recursion? No.
No, we will not explain recursion.
That's not true. We'll explain recursion, just not yet.
Not yet.
Definitely not yet. I swear, there's no group project, as far as I'm aware. Let me quick look through. So that way I don't swear on something.
I am.
No, there is no group project.
Unless they count. Wait, do you guys still have the GitHub contribution as a project?
We do, but you don't work on anybody with that. So
right. Okay.
I don't know. People in 115 are dumb. I don't know. I don't have a good answer.
I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. If there were group projects in 116, it would be a catastrophe.
That's correct, which is why we got rid of it after the semester that we did it. That I didn't. Yep.
How are we supposed to do a group project during a pandemic?
You're not, which is why we do group projects.
Exactly.
Except I'm in 2 classes that have I'm in 3 classes right now that are just group projects.
Well, you also have to keep in mind group projects in higher up courses is a little bit different than group projects in 116.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit different.
Do you think prepares you enough for I assume you mean, do you think 115 prepares you enough for 116? I have a friend who is a TA for Jesse's class. that literally did an entire technically written article about how 115 needs to be made harder to prepare for 116 because 116 correctly prepares you for the rest of the classes.
Yeah.
Because if we made 116 easier, you wouldn't be prepared for 250 or 220. Did Jesse really go on a failing spree in 2019? No.
I don't know anything about that.
No. There's no. I took the class spring 2019. I think.
Was it spring 2019? Yeah, I think it was.
I think it was. God, that's scary. Yeah, I took the class in spring 2019. There was a lot of academic integrity in our semester, but not much of the normal failing. What's Scala used for in the real world besides looking fancy on our resumes? That's actually a really good question. Scala is used to create data pipelines.
Yes.
In the real world, and it's used for some object-oriented programming. It's not that big of a difference. How is class different than an object? A class is a data type that you create. It's a custom created data type. An object is an instantiated version of the class. It's a version of the class that you've assigned to the variable that lives. If you don't understand that, then we'll have Leo explain it.
I'll try my best.
Because he'll explain it a different way than I do.
Yes. I'll explain it a little bit differently and maybe just a bit more in depth.
Yeah.
If you are still confused. More questions like these, people. Come on.
I'm kind of like vibing to the music.
I don't even hear the music.
Well, because the Discord video doesn't share it through. Okay, you explain.
Still confused. Okay, so a class is basically you're creating a custom data type. So for example, if you wanted to create a team like the Mets or the Yankees or something like that, you would need to create a class so we can create variables inside that class or methods inside that class. For example, if you wanted to make a class named team and you wanted an offense or a defense score, you could put offense and defense in their constructor variables, call them as ints, and when you create new objects of that class, you can instantiate that object and name a variable named Mets, make it of type type team or of type whatever class you wrote, and then use the new defined keyword. So you just say new, and then you say class name, open the parentheses, and you can just include what you want the offense or defense or whatever the constructor variables you want to be. With that new variable, you can now call the different class variables and the different class methods in order to do things and change things within your code. Basically, you can say Mets.offense, and it'll return to you that variable and number that is offense.
How do I implement a state variable in a class? By state variable, do you mean state as in regards to the state pattern, or do you just mean a variable in the class that we use as a class variable? And is this class, is that just a class as a variable? The terminology threw me off a little bit. Yeah, so basically an object is an instantiated class. It is a class that you have created an instance of, a variable of. Where are you allowed to instantiate a new object of a class? It has to be within the class, or you can do it in a separate class. It cannot be inside that class. You do it outside that class in another file.
So for example, if you were to say class team and give an offense and defense, and then you try to create a new team inside that class, it just cannot be possibly done.
Yeah, it just won't work. That's class related. CS minor, so you're planning to take CSE 250 this summer, so you don't die next semester. Good choice. Is this a good idea or a horrible idea? It's a good idea.
Yeah, and I'm in 250 right now. I'm telling you, you will want to just focus on 250.
250 takes up a lot of your time.
It does, and it's not so much content wise, but for me personally, it's more like it takes time to really understand what's going on.
Yep.
You have to draw things out, write things down. It's a very, I would say, visual class.
Mm-hmm. Which one's 250? Algorithms? No, that's 331. 250 is data structures.
Algorithms is 331, right?
Yeah. Okay, I'm looking forward to doing the same. I would recommend. Is 191 revolving around a specific language or is it more conceptual? It is relational algebra. So it is a definitely conceptual class about
Discrete mathematics. Yeah.
that not relational algebra. Relational algebra is what I'm doing.
Yeah. 191 is discrete mathematics.
Uh,
It doesn't revolve around a specific language,
depend
but it's more. I mean, depending on who you take it.
depending on who you take it with. If you take it with
Depending on who you take
Hughes,
it with.
I think you do. Oh, why is the stream dying? That's really cool.
Stream die.
Nope, it's fine again now. That was super weird. Okay.
Weird.
The 191. If you have Hughes, it revolves around Scala, I believe.
No, 191.
Python?
No,
Python.
I took 191 with Hughes.
What was
Yeah,
it?
it's Python.
Python.
It was Python.
If you take it with Nepli, it's a language that I will not say, but it is spelled COQ, and it has a picture of a rooster as its logo.
Oh no.
So you can take from that what you'd like. You want to learn key components of algorithms because you want to make a ranking algorithm. Cool. Take 191 250.
191 250 and then
331.
331.
Yeah.
Yep. Definitely do that.
Strong recommendation.
But for to answer to Piwo's 26's question, 191 is probably more conceptual.
It's definitely more
it's
conceptual.
more it's more mathematical thinking and stuff like that. And then 341, you see more of that mathematical and use it in your code.
Yeah.
Learn to prove your code right.
Yep.
Can't wait for that. I'm taking CSE 191 right now with Meng. She just can talk about specific programs unless it's too early on. I didn't have
Ginger.
Jing Meng. Yeah, I didn't have her either. I can't tell you what she does. Does anybody else have any more questions on
116.
conceptually based 116 stuff before we talk about CS minors and things that will rail us off track? As a CS minor as well, are there any 200-300+ level classes you would recommend? I have a choice. Logan, I think that's a question more equipped for you.
It depends what you want to do with your life.
Yeah.
Give me a little bit more information. If you have an if statement and the condition of the if statement is a method, which one will be added to the stack first, the if block or the method? Brain.
That's a good question.
Believe the if, then the method.
Yes, I believe it's the if, then the method. Yeah. We can honestly test that out in a debugger.
I'm 99% sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's if and then method.
But yeah, if you really want to find out, open IntelliJ, write the thing, and open the debugger. There's a part in the debugger on IntelliJ that'll be like your stack kind of thing. It's very nice.
So if anyone here is from Nazrin's section, could you guys let me know if she went over the debugger? Because that is going to be a tool. But I think we've went over it.
Yeah, we've gone over it.
Review. Okay. When a method is mentioned, that's the define statement, right? Yes. If you're creating a new method, yes. Yeah, that is Friday. She said she would go over the debugger on Friday. Okay, perfect.
So wait till Friday then. Have fun.
Yes. But if a TA taught you already,
please use it.
Better. Please use it. Yes. It will help you a lot in the long run. That's going to be a fun lecture for you guys. I'm kind of feeling cold right now, even though my heat's on.
I mean, you could just put a sweatshirt on.
Yeah, but the sweatshirt's really far. Then I have to get up out of my chair. Also, guys, I want you to meet someone. This is Toby. Toby is my buddy. Toby's my buddy. I like Toby. We love Toby. Toby keeps me sane during 250 and 220.
Hello, Toby. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet Toby. Next time I'll just let Toby do the review session.
Honestly, I mean, not the worst idea you ever had.
Yeah, not a bad idea.
Not the worst, not the best idea you ever had. Not the worst idea you've ever had.
It's a decent idea. Hey, if he keeps someone sane, then he's pretty special. Yep, he's very special.
Anybody got any other questions? We've passed the 1 hour mark, so this is the part where Leo and I are just gonna kind of leave if y'all don't have any more questions.
Yeah.
Because I've got homework to do, and I'm sure Leo does too.
Actually, Logan, I forgot to tell you, I actually finished that 220 project.
Congratulations.
PA1. Yay.
Is Jacob TA of 116? He is the head TA of Nazar's section of 116. I am one of the 2 head TAs of Jesse's section of 116.
I am just a general regular TA.
Yeah.
That knows their stuff, I guess. Yes, I know my stuff. Logan can confirm.
Yep. I've gotten annoyed
Wait, what? What happened?
I've got annoyed of people asking me like what my webcam is and stuff, because it's been like at least 3 times a week. I'm just making a kit.co page that has all of my stuff in it, and just every time I'm just gonna go link. How would I add?
It is really nice.
How would I add 2 variables, and when they're added, wouldn't I just declare the variable as new? Reword your question there, Sugar Bombs. I'm not super sure what you're asking.
Yeah, a little bit unsure.
Yeah. Leo, you liar.
Oh, I don't have. Wait, what?
Today's Wednesday, buddy.
Oh, okay. Then I have office hours Friday. I'm sorry.
Is it possible to have 2 classes at the same time? Like at UB?
I don't know if he's talking about 2 classes like
in
as
programming,
like a
or
class?
2 classes
or
as like a
or do you mean like class team and then another class like sports inside the team?
Or do you mean like taking a course at UB? No, in Scala 1 program. I would recommend you make a separate file for each class you use.
Yes.
I need an expression of OOB of LT2. What is OOB? If you mean OOP, that's going to be a next week kind of thing. So you have objects, and that should be all. That's all you know so far. Next week we'll go over inheritance and polymorphism, which is the rest of object-oriented programming for the most part.
Right. What is LT2? Out of business.
Oh.
Any explanation
Okay,
of out of business?
C answer from 20 minutes ago of C answer from 20 minutes ago if we're not going over like specific lecture questions and lecture tasks and that kind of stuff.
Oh, right. Oh, this is a lecture?
Yeah, it's the test case. What's the best use to use while loop so you do not break IntelliJ? While, open parentheses, put whatever your condition is inside of there, and then put your stuff inside, but make sure you actually meet that condition at one point, that you don't just run it infinitely.
Right. Because if you don't meet that condition, you will go infinite. To infinity and beyond.
Maybe a little less on the beyond, but
a little less than beyond. Got it. Okay. I actually just started rewatching Toy Story. Not bad. Okay, so let's say C1 plus C2 equals C3. How would I declare C3 as the new C1? I believe you can just change C1 and let C1 equal C3.
You do. Oh, C1 equals C2 plus C1.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, and that would just overwrite everything in C1. Unless that's not what you're talking about, and you just do C3 equals C2 plus C1, which would mean C1 would say the same, C2 would say the same, C3 would just be the sum of them.
Right.
Okay, so if you're trying to override the value of C1, you do C1 equals C1 plus C2. If you're trying to create a new variable called C3, then you'd use C3 equals C1 plus C2.
Oh, right. That's kind of like an accumulator, basically.
Yeah.
I still can't believe I lied saying that my office hours are tomorrow.
Bro, I don't know what you're doing.
I gotta get better. I gotta do better. Do better.
Just get good.
You ever seen that TikTok of the dad with his like daughters? Oh my gosh, it's really funny. Love that TikTok.
Anybody else have any questions?
Any questions at all? We will take all of them. Why electric boogaloo? Oh, Logan.
Okay, there's this naming scheme where you go something to electric boogaloo. I don't know why. I couldn't remember the origins of it, but that's just the thing. It'll be renamed to Leo next week. Just, I don't know, meme this week.
Yeah,
for no good reason.
Just do this meme. We'll just leave this meme up. I'm just Jacob 2.0. We'll just go with that. Jacob 2.0. A new software.
It's a bad movie. Yes, that's correct.
Yes. There you go. Someone got it.
At least somebody did.
The subtitle of said movie was Movie 2. Movie 2 Electric Boogaloo. Yes.
Sounds about right, yeah.
Sounds about right. He said that's all he remembers.
That's all that matters.
He said that's all that matters, honestly. Let's just leave it at that. We don't want to go too in-depth there. Electric Boogaloo. Interesting. Anybody else have any other questions? If you want two things to match, then for it to stop when they don't match, how would you do that with a while loop?
You say while, and then open parentheses, exclamation mark, and then parentheses, x equals y. Or while x equals, no, just while x equals y. And then when they're not equal, it'll just stop. It'll only go while those two things are equal.
Yeah. You gotta send me your thing for your camera.
Yeah, I'm literally making the whole thing right now.
Yes, please do. Is it just me, or does it feel like you're on your computer for hours and you look back at the end of the day and it's like, what did I even accomplish, lol?
Yep.
Yeah, I used to feel like that too. My best advice would be just to really just to kind of like write down what you did. It helps a lot. I'm assuming this is a very like question, like how can I feel accomplished? So writing down what you did for the day for me works a lot. How can I make C1 new in a test suite?
What?
I'm
still confused.
Yeah, I'm confused.
Did this whole thing just not save? I think I... Oh, no, we're good. It did save so far. I accidentally pressed the back button and got really scared.
That back button, man, it's a
killer.
Bad.
It's a killer.
Man. It really it kills. That thing is dangerous. Yeah, good advice. Yep.
Always the best advice.
Always. I'm surprised we haven't made a post about imposter syndrome yet. I feel like that's a very good, important post to make.
It'll be a little bit later in the semester.
That's what I think.
It's not
too.
yet.
I know we usually do it.
Yeah.
Or if you go to specific TAs, I'll say this: if you guys are feeling down, or like you feel like you're falling behind, go to office hours. Like a TA will always help you. Always. They're not gonna turn you away.
Yep.
Unless, of course, you just absolutely start berating the TA, and you start cursing him out. Then that's a problem.
That would be correct. Yes.
But if you're behind and you genuinely want to catch up, go to office hours.
Yep.
That's like my best advice to you. Cap, one TA just said, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Go to a different TA.
That. Yeah, a different TA, maybe.
Possibly.
It'd be how it do.
It'd be how it do. It's hard too because I was trying to go over today, but it overlapped my other classic officers. I'm doing the coder classic for any circle. One typo. I tried setting the while loop being apologize, still running. Do you ever change the values of them? Do you ever update those values so they can save me 40 minutes?
Yeah, make sure you're updating the values in the while loop.
Yeah. Sugar Bombs, I'm not going to answer that question. And Leo's going to be surprised when I'm not answering that question. And the answer is because I'll stay here for another 3 hours to talk about it. And I don't have that kind of time today, to be honest.
Yeah. We can talk about that another week.
Yeah, during the review, what is it, the totally not spring break week, I'm more than happy to spend the entire review session talking about audio equipment and mechanical keyboards.
Sugar Bombs, honestly, I'm going to tell you right now, you probably just piqued Logan's interest. Logan honestly might have just... He honestly might have just... I don't know. I can't tell you.
I know exactly what you're trying to say. But
yes. I can't. But trust me, Logan's very happy that you asked that question, and he really wants the answer. He really wants to answer your question.
I'm not going to, but...
But he will not.
Yeah.
Not right now.
I have database homework I have to do tonight.
Yeah, I gotta get started on 250. Actually, I'm started on it, but I have to start working on it.
You have to keep going on it.
Keep going on it, yeah.
Yep. Just more of whatever.
More code. Code more.
Always more code.
Always code more. That Corsair K70. Yeah, we're not gonna talk about that.
I'm still not gonna talk about it. I'm saying I'm not talking about it. If I start talking about it, I'll be here forever, and I can't be here forever. Alright, if anybody has any more questions that are not mechanical keyboard related, I'll answer them. But yeah.
If not, we will sadly have to go.
Did you say database work for which class? 460, 560. It is awesome class. It's just super like overfilled. It's like 92 people with like a 50-person wait list. It's kind of ridiculous.
92 people? Wow.
Yeah. How did you guys manage all your classes when you have a class like 116 or 250 that take up so much time? Magic. It's
Magic?
just like really good work ethic. One of the other TAs has this rule that he does, which is just like he's only works for 4 hours a day, and he just makes it really, really productive 4 hours. And I'm trying to start doing that as well. But like, set aside time to work that day and only work during it. Like, don't get like sidetracked during it and that kind of stuff. Just like make sure when you work that you're doing like productive hours. Like if you work for 8 hours, make sure it's productive work for 8 hours. Don't make sure you're not you don't say like, oh, I'm working for 8 hours, but it's like, well, I worked for like 20 minutes and then I scrolled through Twitter for a half hour and then I worked for stuff and then I played a game of Rocket League, and like don't make it that way. Make it like you pay attention, you work for a couple hours, and you'll be way more productive. Which goes for
Um,
cybersecurity, and CSE 365 is for cybersecurity, and I don't remember the AI class.
4 hours for one class or all? Logan, you work for four
All,
hours on one class?
all.
Trust me.
If you do 4 hours a day, that goes up to like what 20 hours a week. If you just do it during the
Yeah.
week, it goes up to like 28 if you include the weekends. Like you can get a lot of work done when you just like set yourself aside time and just really work on it.
Um, Big thing is start early.
Yep.
Uh, Create a Google Calendar. That's a big thing for me. Um, yeah, I don't spend 4 hours on one class. You're just gonna hurt yourself.
Yeah.
It you're gonna get more harm done than work done.
Yeah, especially if you've got a project like for Nasrin's class like Rhyming Dictionary, Physics Engine, and for Jesse's class like Pale Blue Dot or Point of Sale, that kind of stuff. If you just spend a really long time like doing it in one shot, you're not going to get a huge amount of work done. But if you do a little bit a day, like maybe a method a day or fix your problem one day, that kind of stuff, you'll get a lot more work done.
And if you see yourself getting stuck for like 30 minutes, 20 minutes even on one specific thing, go to office hours or ask on Piazza. Because at that point, you just sitting on that problem for days and days on days is not going to help. You might as well ask on Piazza and see if a TA can answer that question for you.
Mhm.
We don't bite, I promise.
Almost normal. Most of the time, we don't bite.
Most of us don't bite. Definitely a Google Calendar though.
Oh my
Plan out your
god.
day. Google Calendar like saved my life this semester.
I mean, here I'll show mine. It's slightly impressive.
Right.
I don't know if
Yours is good. Yours is really good. Mine is not that great, but it's only because I don't
yeah.
take that many things. Right. So this is Logan's Google Calendar.
Well, the worst part is this gets also used with a tick tick.
Yes.
But yeah, it's so when I like have to really do work. So like yesterday when I was like making sure that I was doing all the work, and I think last week I had to do this too. Yeah, here it's just like I block it out in Google Calendar to say I'm not doing anything except for that during this time. So
Yeah.
yeah. Also, don't do what I do and like overwork yourself. Like yesterday, I was literally working from 8 till 9 straight. Don't do that.
I developed the skill of ignore my Google Calendar.
Don't do that. That's a poor
Don't do that.
decision. That's a
That's a really poor
strong
decision.
poor decision.
I did that in 116 and got absolutely obliterated. Just gonna let you guys know. By the way, for anyone in Nazareth's class that saw Rhyming Dictionary and Physics Engine, by the way, um, just to let you guys know, I almost got screwed over on that assignment only because I was not managing my time correctly and not using Google Calendar.
Yeah, manage your
So,
time. Don't be Leo.
yeah, that was really bad. I'll let you guys know that the assignment was due on a Sunday and I had started it on the Friday 2 days before it was due. Please don't do that. That was the most painful time of my life so far. Please don't do that. I did that and now I'm a TA, but you know, I started every other assignment as early as I could, which I recommend. Highly recommend. You'll enjoy them more. A lot of the assignments are really fun.